This episode of the Brown Park Podcast is presented by Grow Clinics. If you're ready to take control of your hair health and your confidence, visit growclinics.com.au. I just realised I'm sitting here in the dark. I've gotten to that point in my life where I need to wear my glasses more.
Are you using if you go to a restaurant now, are you using the torch to see the menu? You are, aren't you?
I will hold it very close to my face though.
Okay.
Not quite, but I'm at the point where, I'm in denial because I know that I need to wear my glasses more, but I kind of don't want to.
Well, I'm similar. I mean, I wear contacts a bit.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with the podcast today. The podcast, we're actually chatting to a guy called What's So Not?
AKA Chris Emerson is his real name.
He's been around in the Australian industry for a long time.
Now, we talk about mental health a lot on this podcast, but we also talk about turning points and what it takes to get somewhere. This guy is a great example of that. Exactly.
And his name is What's So Not, and he's joining us on the podcast.
The Brown Park Podcast.
Question.
Yes?
Hey, so tell me, do you and your wife, Sarah...
Oh, God. Where is this going?
Not there.
I share a lot with you, but I don't share that much.
Do you put it... No.
No.
When either of you see an attractive person,
yes,
do you call it out and go, wow, that lady's attractive or that dude's attractive or whatever?
No,
so
never have.
You don't? Well, we had a scenario recently. We had a tradie come around. We were getting new internet put on, and this Kiwi dude rocks in, and he was a rooster, right?
So you wanted to fuck him?
Well, no, I didn't, but it moved a little bit. but he had the most piercing blue eyes and whatever. I'm like, okay, you're an attractive dude. And I go to Casey, geez, the guy doing the internet, he's a bit of a good-looking dude. Check out his eyes. And she comes over, 5 minutes later, goes, wow, his eyes are amazing. And I was like, yeah, okay, there you go. But I'm just wondering if it'd be different if a hot tradie chick rocked up, would I have gone, man, hey, Casey, check out this chick.
I don't know. I don't think you're that type of guy.
No, I'm not.
I'm not. Look, honestly, Miss World, whoever it is, could walk in the front door and I'd be like, hey, how you going?
You're not going to acknowledge the looks.
No, I don't want to make my wife feel like,
No, well, you don't.
I love my wife. She's beautiful.
But if it was the same sex, and because I'm having a chat with a dude while he's working, and Casey goes, "Are you flirting?" And then I started
questioning.
Yeah, I'm just making small talk. No, I'm not flirting. I'm just making small talk. And then I go, "Is he going to think I'm flirting?" I've got to be careful what I say.
It's always one of those things. We've had this discussion where somebody goes, "Oh, who's your hall pass?" And I always feel difficult doing it because I don't want to make her feel
less than.
No less than. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. But who's your hall pass? You can tell me. No one's listening. Go. Who?
Yeah. Well, that's true. But the New Zealand plumber that came around to your place.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I can hook you up. So let's go for a walk with What's So Not, a.k.a. Chris Emerson.
That's it. Listen to the birds, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm in the outskirts of Melbourne. Is it got better reception and better?
Much better. We actually have a weird link.
Okay.
So let me cast your mind back. The year was 2022.
That's not long ago.
Did a song with Example.
Yes.
And he filmed the music video for that song in the diner that I owned at the time.
No way.
Yeah, that went on to win Video of the Year at the Queensland Music Awards or something like that. But
it did.
So
How
that
good.
was your song.
Wow.
In my diner, and we shut it down for the day, and they filmed the music video there.
Wow, how cool.
Welcome to the podcast. I want to just start off. We're essentially sort of like a mental health podcast, and
epic.
You have had a self-imposed break from music some time ago, and we'll get to that in a second. But I want to know your story, how you became What's So Not, and where did the love affair of music come from? You were born in Sydney, just to bring our listeners up to speed if they're not aware of who you are.
Yeah, awesome. So I started playing drums when I was like 8 years old. I was really into rock music all through high school, bands like At the Drive-In and Tool and things like that. I didn't...
Good boy. Love it.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought dance music was terrible stuff until I snuck into the Big Day Out, a fantastic festival for anyone who's familiar with it from back in the day.
Classic, yeah.
You went to the Boiler Room, didn't you?
I went straight to the Boiler Room, and not the online 360 film Boiler Room, the 40,000 people deep in precipitating sweat.
Ooh, it was hot
Boiler
there.
Room.
It was hot in there.
And I saw Justice perform before they'd even put out their first album. I saw Ajax, who's the person that ended up signing me. Yep. And I saw the Presets, who became friends of mine, who I ended up doing some music with, and amazing. So it was like a groundbreaking moment in my life, going to this festival and seeing what dance music had to offer for the first time. And me being this, Tool at the Drive-In Rage Against the Machine rock kid, just suddenly, wow, dance music is the coolest thing in the world. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Did you instantly go out and buy yourself like a Casio and start making music that way? Or
no?
Or how did the progression then become into, okay, I fucking love this, I'm going to do something with this? How do you then make that move into the next stage?
So I didn't have the kind of money to go and buy anything, so I was very lucky to be in this, I think the first era of pirated everything, pirated software, pirated music. So basically went on all the pirate sites and got all the stuff I would need, all the software for free, and just started tinkering around with it and playing with it like a toy. And I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, this is so fun. This is so amazing. I'm so into this. I was on this program called Virtual DJ, making these mixtapes just to play at parties with my friends and play in the car as I drove around looking for surf and things like that. And then I got a cracked version of Fruity Loops, a cracked version of Ableton, started messing around with drum programming and sampling and using synthesizers and stuff. Again, didn't really think anything of it. And then would just go out clubbing every weekend. I was just so in love with music. We'd go to King's Cross, we'd go to Oxford Street, we'd go to 3 or 4 clubs a night, all the different genres that were going around, down at 77, at Havana, Candy's apartment, all these different places. How I actually started DJing and beginning this as a hobby, then profession, was we just used to be the crew, dancing till the lights came on at 6 a.m. And then there was a couple of other people that we started seeing every 6 a.m. when the lights come on, like, oh, you guys are here too, like, nice to meet you, whatever. One of those guys' name was Sasha. And Sasha has now gone on to become like Golden Features manager, Kelly Holiday from Peking Dark. And at the time, he was just another kid dancing till 6 a.m. And he one day said to me, after we'd just been doing this, months and months and months, seeing each other there, he's like, hey, man, I heard you've been messing around with some DJing stuff. Like, I got you a gig. And I was like, oh, man, I don't actually know how to DJ. Like, I've just been making these mixtapes on these bootleg programs and, like, I love mucking around with it. But, yeah, I have no idea how to DJ. And he's like, well, you better start because I'm a promoter now and I got you a gig in 3 weeks. That was how I began my journey actually doing this.
How was the first gig?
It actually went really well.
That's lucky because a lot of first gigs don't.
Yeah. I planned a set and then I just practiced and then did it quite well. It was quite interesting doing it. We had a lot of our friends come. It was me and 2 other mates that were all going back to back. And it sort of got the attention of a bunch of the guys in the main room because we were in this tiny little back room, but then had half the club in there.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, what's going on in here? We ended up getting a residency straight off the bat at Candy's apartment from that one gig and got moved to the main stage very quickly, met a lot of the other crew. Also for me, like, I don't know what it's like for a lot of other people in the arts and in the creative industry, but I knew not a single person that did the arts as a career. Not a single person in my life, no family member, no friends growing up. It was, you do music as a hobby and then you grow up and you get a real job. You know? So this was the access point for me. It was just randomly dancing with some people at 6 a.m., getting this backroom gig, getting paid $50 for it, and then getting moved to the main stage within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then it all kicked off from there. I remember, it's such different times. Like, blogs had just started. MySpace was a thing. The first social media platforms ever. The first, like, it was still kind of underground. Like, the information could instantly go around the whole country very quickly. That was very new. And it was such a cool way to, like, you know, share music, share ideas, share art. We were all, like, making our own clothes, going and buying fabrics, and then, you know, just throwing these wild parties. People were at art school painting, bringing that into the club, hanging it on the wall, decorating the venues, like, based on the theme of the night. And it was just a really, really fun and authentic time. I got into, obviously, music production. I started making bootlegs and things because as I started DJing, I was like, oh, this song would be a lot better if it went like this, and if it switched up here, and if it had this kind of chord progression over it, if it had this little vocal chop from this other song. And it was kind of crazy. There was this, I don't know how much the listeners know about the age of blogging, but you know, it was just these very cool, trendy kids all around the world who ran a page
blogs,
that everybody would go to every day just to see what they're talking about, see what music they're posting about, see what new bands, new artists are releasing music. It was quite fun and quite cool.
And then illegally download that music.
Exactly.
I used to be one of them. I was one of them.
Yeah. Was Pirate Ship? Was that what it was?
Pirate Bay.
Pirate Bay. Yeah.
I used to go to, I think it was Hype. I can't remember.
Anyway.
I was going back now.
But something really cool happened was there was this like a chart aggregator for all the illegal music on the internet, and it was called the Hype Machine or Hypem.
Hype Machine, that was it.
You
There we go.
remember
That's
Hype
the
Machine?
website. That's where I used to go.
And that was like the Billboard charts of illegal music, pretty much. There was also legal music on there, but most of the stuff was the hottest illegal music. So
artists used to just go there and flood it with their own songs in the hope that they'd get discovered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so where I really started switching this from, oh, this is a fun hobby I love doing, to I think I need to make this my career, is what happened the first time I ever put up a bootleg. I made something that I thought would really work in a nightclub. I started playing in the nightclubs and it started going off every week. And then I met a friend who ran one of these blogs that was on Hype Machine, because you had to be, like, selected to be a part of it.
You couldn't just post, you'd have to be invited.
Yeah, and then he was like, I really want to do a write-up on this bootleg, like your first thing you've made. He does the write-up, a few other blogs post it, and I go to bed, wake up the next morning, and it's number 1 on the Hyper Machine chart.
Nice.
First thing I ever did. And that was really when I was like, okay, I'm just learning how to do this, understanding the ins and outs of the technicalities of all these programs, but I obviously know what's going to work. And that was the core element of it. I was like, I know what will work, and now I just have to, you know, learn more of my skill set so I can do this from the ground up and not do as much sampling and do a little more creation from the ground up. And that was my sort of first forte into production, and a sort of marker point of me of how to spend my time for the next 20 years or so.
And do you still have your MySpace account?
Oh, I
Does
think
it exist?
Justin Timberlake bought MySpace for like a few billion to promote. I'm just going to let the cat out. He's stuck in the room with me. You know how it goes.
Yeah. It was Murdoch bought it for like $500 million from the Tom, who was the guy behind it.
No way, Murdoch bought it first.
Murdoch bought it first for like $500 million.
Oh my God.
And then it just bombed because everybody went, well, he's sold out, man. And so nobody went on it. And then Justin Timberlake bought it for $30 million from Murdoch.
Whoa.
And then he offloaded it. He tried to do something with it, and he offloaded it to another media group. I think he launched an
album and tried to like have everybody download it. Or
yeah, it didn't work. So he offloaded it as well and gave it to someone else. But yeah.
Wow.
I looked it up the other day, and my account is still there.
I wouldn't even know my access logins.
This is the Brown Park Podcast. Now, a word from our sponsors.
Are you one of the many Australians experiencing hair loss? Do you find yourself avoiding the mirror or constantly trying new products that just don't work? Well, there's a solution that's backed by science and delivers real results, and it's Grow Clinics. Grow Clinics is a leading hair transplant clinic with locations across Australia and New Zealand. They perform over 150 hair transplants every single month, and their procedures are led by experienced doctors who are experts in the field of hair restoration. But Grow Clinics isn't just about hair transplants. They offer a wide range of services to combat all stages of hair loss. Whether you're looking for prescription hair care you can use at home or you're interested in specialised non-invasive treatments in clinic, Grow Clinics has you covered. With clinics in Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth and Auckland, New Zealand, there's a Grow Clinic near you. And the best part? They're offering a free consultation for our listeners of the Brown Park podcast. Just mention our show when you call in to book and you'll be on your way to a fuller, healthier head of hair. So don't wait any longer. Take control of your hair loss journey with Grow Clinics.
This is the Brown Park Podcast with Christo and Dion. Now back to the show.
Tell us, when you shifted from, all right, this is a hobby, I'm going to do it as a career. Did anyone say you're fucking nuts and there's no future in it for you? You're wasting time?
My parents, for one.
I was going to ask about your mum and dad. They would have gone, what are you doing?
Well, it was a funny dynamic because they thought I was just out getting high and taking drugs, and I was like, no, I really am passionate.
That's not the only thing I'm doing.
This music. And my dad was like, you need a real job. And my dad worked as an accountant, and he helped get me a job as an accountant. Get your life together, come and do this. And I was like, okay, but I'm still going to do this as a hobby and really try and make this work. So I was working there in the days. I was studying full time, and then I would get one day off a week pretty much to make music, and then I'd be doing gigs every night that I could. So that was my, that went on for about 4 or 5 years like that. I was really lucky that I had quite a few other successes of making bootlegs, ideas, remixes that a lot of artists around Australia would play because of Hype Machine. A lot of it went around the world as well, but I didn't quite get access to that kind of thing for a few years later. But at the least, I was I had a healthy touring schedule around Australia. A lot of the big artists of the time, the big DJs, would play a couple of these songs that I was making and were very familiar. Promoters were familiar in booking me. So it was a really nice little, beginning. And this is really before even What So Not was even in frame of mind, and the project that I would go on to do later that would go all around the world, for the last decade or so.
And is that where you got the name from, Emo instead?
Yeah, Emo is my last name's Emerson, so it was a nickname all through I was going on. But I think the real pinnacle point was there was this What So Not remix for Vanshee. Vanshee was a really cool Australian band, if anyone's familiar, that did a lot of great things. It was Nicky Nighttime and Touch Sensitive, Mikey DiFrancesco, if anyone's familiar with those guys. But basically did this remix for them, and it was the first What So Not song that sort of became an Australian club favourite. It was getting played all around the place, and it was the first thing to get on Australian radio for the project, I believe.
And are you making money then from it when it starts going like that?
Losing money,
Yeah.
So
there's always been the joke in the Australian music industry that you get signed to a record label, and the second thing you sign is the dole form.
Yeah, you get my career trajectory was spending every spare minute I had on this, and it didn't turn a profit for the first 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's the ratio. And I think I was one of the lucky ones. But coming to the parents thing, so Dad was a little more open to it because he could see I was working hard at work, because he would, we didn't work together at work, but he knew I was there.
Yeah.
And then Mum was a little more out of the loop. I'd have lunch with my dad sometimes and talk about what I'm doing in my other life. And Mum just thought I was wasting my life away. And it wasn't until this one song, because Mum came home one day and she goes, Chris, I was in the car driving home and this song came on. I'm like, oh, what is this god-awful song? I've heard this so many times. Why have I heard this so much? And then she's like, and I realised it's that song you've been playing on loop downstairs for the last couple of months. She's like, are you on the radio? And I was like, at that point, I was like, yeah, Mum, I'm on the radio all the time. This is what I've been telling you I'm doing. And that was when she started really taking it seriously.
But I want to know where the name What So Not came from.
Yeah, so What So Not was a play off the phrase what's hot, what's not. And the idea was back in those SoundCloud, MySpace, early social media platform, music uploading platform era, everyone would just copy whatever was big to try and immediately get up the charts, get notoriety, and start touring. But the idea of What's So Hot was to make the next sound rather than just copy what was hot in the moment.
So you found success. You were doing stuff with, we were reading Skrillex and
Flume.
There was Flume also, and you're doing all these gigs and touring overseas and stuff like that. But then you decided to have a self-imposed exile from music. At what point did you go, okay, well, I need to just, it's too much?
I think that wasn't until like 2020.
Yeah, 2020, I read that, yeah.
Which timed really well for me because the whole world also
stopped. Yeah.
It was quite funny because me and my manager, I mean, we were so deep into my career by that point. Like, I'd played Coachella 3 times, had gone all around the world, I was doing like 40 different countries a year, 250 shows. Like, it was time to have a little break, you know, more than anything. And we had a feeling, me and my manager, that there must be some sort of recession or something coming. Like, everything was overvalued, overpriced. It was just boiling point. And we're like, the world can't sustain this. And then something cracked, you know?
And then it did. The entire world cracked.
Everything came to an end.
Yeah.
Tell me, so you're playing these huge festivals. I mean, you know, one of the questions I had is, as a DJ, like, it's full energy, you be in the moment on this massive high. What's it come down like after performing a show like that? Is there a come down, so to speak?
It's interesting because most of my adult life has ended up being like going on stage to some degree and having to deal with, hey, this moment is so extreme and so intense. And I still am like kind of nervous on stage. Like, well, back when I first started, I was so awkward and so nervous. And these days I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, it's just another gig. We're fine. We know how to do this. Even if you make mistakes, even if whatever's going wrong, like it's all good. But I don't know, it's just such a normal part of my life that it doesn't really faze me at all.
Doesn't impact you.
But the thing I would say is it does weigh you down if you don't take care of yourself and take care of your body. I know a lot of other people find it really hard to be, if you're not able to sort of sit comfortably with yourself, you're just on stage in front of, you know, 20,000 people, and then you're just sitting in a hotel room with 3 hours left until you got a lobby call to go to the airport, to go to the next country, to go do the same thing, to barely get any sleep, and then continue that on for 200 shows a year.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it?
How do you then make sure that you're okay in those moments? Because that's where drugs, alcohol, you know, all that kind of thing sort of...
I mean, look what happened to him.
Yeah. I mean, I was very lucky that my first gig in America was in New York at Webster Hall, and I got really drunk because I was like, I made it. I'm in America. Finished the gig.
What I'm supposed to do, yeah.
We partied till 7 a.m. and then I look at my phone. I'm like, oh, what's the next place I got to go to? You remember, first gig, I don't know America. It's like Las Vegas. Okay, whatever. Let's go to Las Vegas. Don't even understand. It's like 5-hour flight, other side of the country, 3-hour time difference. And my next set is 2 till 4 a.m., which is then the equivalent of like playing 5 till 7 a.m. And so I finally get to Vegas. I'm hungover. I go to sleep, and my alarm doesn't go off. And I sleep through the start of my second set in America. Promoter's pissed, comes up to the room, banging on the door, like, where are you? Meant to be on stage 10 minutes ago. And it was just a wake-up call. It was like, you can't be doing this. You can't be working this out as you go and be getting hungover, getting drunk, partying, whatever. It's like, you've got this giant opportunity in front of you. And I pretty much just went cold turkey from that moment on. And I think it's made my career what it is.
That's pretty epic, because a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. That they succumb to the you know, if you're playing in clubs and bars and massive festivals, you can pretty much get whatever you want.
Yeah. I think that became part of it. Is the second it's always available, it loses that enticement and loses that edge. Yeah. And then you see it for what it is. And you see what it does to so many of your peers and friends. You see people's careers just, you know, fall apart very quickly, because it's a business you got to run as much as it is a creative endeavor, and you can't be your best creative self if you're smashed, if you're hungover, if you're spending all your time in the wee hours after the set there's not enough time to get sleep. You can't get enough sleep, get to the next gig, and actually make a great record. It's not going to happen. You got to choose one or the other.
And you'd piss your money up a wall. It's not cheap.
Well, again, it's always free. So
it's free. Everyone gives it to them. It's free.
When everything's free, you start to not want it.
When it's easy to get. That's it. I mean, because I guess at that point you go, well, I've got to treat it like a job. Like I'm not an accountant, but this is my job, and I've got to take it seriously.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, my dad was an accountant, and that's the job I had.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So I'm literally there, like 5 days a week, just sitting at this desk, like processing people's super funds and tax returns. But it's crazy because, this era of the industry, the last decade and a half or so, it's so entrepreneurial. It's so, you got to be self-reliant, self-sufficient, and I would have thought that doing that accounting was just such a waste of time until I got into this industry and I saw how important it was to understand money, understand bottom line, particularly once you start doing really big shows. You're spending 6 figures on production and lighting and all this stuff. You got a touring party of 20 people sometimes. Understanding the fundamentals of what is this going to cost me? If you're making some 6-figure amount, what is it actually going to cost to put that type of a show on?
And you need to look after you as well. You need to make sure that it's worth your effort.
Exactly, because a lot of people go into this and they're like just told what to do. They don't actually understand what's happening, and they see the top line information and then don't see the bottom line information. And it's a very different amount, and it has a very different result. And a lot of artists are sent around the world, and they come home with everybody else getting paid but them.
Because they're uneducated, they think they've got a shitload of money, but they're getting ripped off by their promoter, by whoever.
A lot of them be spending like crazy because they just think they're rich and they're not. They're actually maybe in debt.
Yeah.
And, they're on like a label debt. Their touring maybe isn't making as much money as they think at all. And, it just goes sideways real quick. And then if you add partying to that, it's all over.
This is the Brown Park Podcast.
Real fellas.
Hey team, let's talk hair for a second. If you're starting to notice a little less hair up top, don't stress, you're not alone. There is something you can do about it. Grow Clinics are the absolute experts when it comes to hair restoration. There's no gimmicks, no miracle sprays, just real medical solutions that work. They're all about natural results, tailored plans, and getting your confidence back without the dodgy hairlines or the old school stigma. Thousands of guys are seeing serious regrowth with Grow. And the best part, you can book a free consultation to see what's possible for you. So if your hair's thinning, don't wait. Head to growclinics.com.au, that's groclinics.com.au, and tell them Brown Park sent you.
This is the Brown Park Podcast with Christo and Dion. Now back to the show.
I wanted to ask, you said earlier in the interview that you were working 4 days a week and then 1 day a week on music. How is that now? Is it all the time working on music, or do you take like a day to do business, or do you get any time for you now, or how does that work?
The funny thing about doing a job you love is you're doing it 24/7 every day, every hour you're awake. It's game on, and every time you take a break, nothing happens, So so it's quite interesting. I've most weeks I'm probably doing an 80-hour week, maybe 100 most weeks. And that's just normal. It's like, wake up, what do you got come in from America, what do you got come in from Europe? Okay, let's go handle that. All right, I'm going to go for a quick jog, make some food. All right, let's get this song done. That artwork is due. What's that going to be? Building this mood board. I've got a session that starts in 1 hour. Do a few phone calls, meetings with some crew that are going to be running the festival. Okay, that's sorted. Now go into this session, write this song, get on a vibe, go have a coffee, get to know the person a bit more, finish the song. Okay, I got to get that mixed down, go talk to the engineer, have that mixed down while we work on this EP. Like, that's just normal
Jesus.
life. Yeah.
And then you also do producing for other people as well, don't you? So you've got other people coming at you going, hey, where's my mix for this? Where's this? Where's that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then, tell me then, when you blew up, was there any pressure to back up? Like you have a hit, then you've got to make sure you have another one. How does that work in your field?
I was kind of lucky because my project wasn't reliant on like a hit. It was actually, it was kind of a new sound. There was like a few front runners for a whole new genre that really became first off what got played in nightclubs and like sort of a new wave of what got played in nightclubs, and then became a new wave of what got played on radio. So it wasn't about a single song that blew up. It was about a culture and a scene moving, and then I was near the front of it with a few other people. So it was just about consistently delivering something authentic that I had always done, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah,
so do you remember, like I work in radio, do you remember the first time you heard yourself on the radio and went, holy shit?
I think maybe there was a couple of early like demos that got played on like FBI. If you're familiar with FBI, really great radio station, community radio station here in Australia.
They break a lot of artists.
Yeah, and then like a bunch of the dance music hosts in Australia on Triple J started playing it on the off-cycle times, like, you know, just seeing that this was something ripping through the clubs all around the country, even though it hadn't quite been formally delivered to radio in any sense of the word. Like Nina Las Vegas and people like that were such early champions of it.
I wanted to ask about AI in music. This is something that's gotten me recently, and I saw an article on it today with Suno teaming up with like Warner Brothers or something like that, and I'm just like, oh, where is the music industry going?
Well, I think it's not so much the music industry as it is the entire world is just going to shift so quickly. Like jobs that everyone is like, this is set in stone, are just going to disappear. And like, I think it's we can't like bury the head in our sand and yell at clouds. It's like, hey, it's just coming. Like and we're kind of in like a Cold War AI arms race with some other countries, and they don't care about ethics. They don't care about making sure artists are taken care of. This is like, is the digital world as we know it going to survive, and like who's going to win the war? So I think it's so far beyond Suno and, you know, our jobs and livelihoods. It's like the whole world is like in this crisis kind of limbo mode. I think the best approach for it is really like, you've just got to go and study a new craft, study a new art form. And I wouldn't take the approach, it's bad, don't talk about it. I think that's been a very weird thing I've seen in the music community, where like if you talk about AI, you're shunned. If you talk about like if you've used it, you're shunned. Yet I'm in these sessions with some of the biggest artists in the world. They're all using it.
Oh, everybody
like,
uses it.
Everybody is using it.
Yeah.
It's like you can use it like an idiot, or you can use it like a brilliant artist. It's really just depends what you want from it, and how cheap you want to be with it, how ethical you want to be with it, and how experimental and wild and innovative you want to be with it. It's up to you. I think what has to change probably very quickly is laws, because these laws are not built for this stuff.
Well, there is no laws around a lot of it. That's the problem.
And it's like I put up this post the other week that I had this real epiphany where I'm like, hey, this thing that everyone's saying AI is doing that is so bad is exactly what we do as artists. It's like if you ever think, if you've made a Pinterest board and you've picked, you know, these 50 images you love and sent that to a graphic designer and said, hey, can you make me my EP artwork based on these 50 images? That is exactly the same as an AI studying a data set. Like there is absolutely no difference there, except that I'm employing somebody to make it. But by the same token, you know, this AI program is taking some sort of commission by a subscription to make it, and somebody built that system. So, and a similar token, if we go and listen to a playlist of 50 songs to inspire how I might write my album, I'm studying a data set. It is kind of the same thing. There's a lot of ethical differences. There's you know, people being taken out of the mix of it. But I think that is the world we're heading into, full stop.
Yeah,
there is just, all of this stuff is just going to be overhaul and change.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think with things like where you can replicate somebody's actual voice, like you could go and make a Taylor Swift song, that's where the legal boundary is going to be, because you will get the shit suit out of you.
Yes.
But I think you're right to be able to get, like I've seen people just get the most beautiful harmonies from their own voice using AI because they can't harmonize. That is a good use of the technology, because you're sort of employing your own talent while using it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I want to like say this point, which I thought of the other day with a friend, is like we talked about in this podcast. My career started by us illegally downloading all this music, ripping all these MP3s, getting creative with it, using these cracked plugins, going doing shows, playing illegal music, getting paid just a little bit of money so that I could build some sort of notoriety. This is the next generation's version of that. There's a 15-year-old kid in the middle of regional Victoria. He doesn't have access to an orchestra. what is he going to do? What if he's a savant who's going to be the next Mozart? He's going to use these programs to start orchestrating how that would be done, reverse engineering, understanding it, and composing maybe some of the greatest records ever created. Like, it's just the next form of that. And yes, it's going to disrupt so many industries and so many careers, but that is the world over. It's not just a thing in music.
Well, that's just evolution in general, isn't it? Somebody taking something and doing something more with it.
And there's this interesting kind of entitlement of people that are established that are saying nobody should be allowed to use this stuff. And it's like, most of us got here by doing something like this in previous iterations. And I think the entitlement comes from people, an orchestra is a great example. Who the hell can afford an orchestra who's trying to break into the music industry? It's not happening. So let them go and tinker with this thing that lets you explore it, at almost no cost.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Well, look, the new song.
It's an EP with my great friend Bunshin, yeah.
Whenever you hear this, it'll be out. What's so not? Thank you so much for your time, man. You're a great chat.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Mate.
That was fantastic. I feel like we could have done this for another 2 hours.
We'll get a couple of drinks poured, and
yes, that's the way. I've got another one. I think I have to jump into actually. So otherwise, I would just say that's why I was looking at my phone over here. I was like, can I just keep going? This is great.
Anyway,
nice,
all right, mate.
man. Thank you very much for your time.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. That was amazing. Lovely
Thanks,
day.
mate.
The Brown Podcast.
Why are you happy?
Because I don't want to be sad.